Hello guys, how you doing? Now we are in the fifth lesson in this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript course titled Learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript the Practical Way. And today we are going to be looking at another cool, beginner-friendly project, which is to create an interactive to-do list app. And this is a very simple project which I will also be guiding us right in the HTML, the CSS, and the functionality written in JavaScript. So without any further ado, let's see what we are about to do. Okay, here is a sneak preview of what we're going to be building together. It's a to-do list app with search functionality. Okay, so I can come here to add a new to-do. Okay, become the best ninja in the Leaf Village. Sure, why not? Okay, click on enter. All right, what else do I want to? Okay, learn Rasengan. Sure, why not? Okay, another thing is okay. Can decide. Okay, I'm going to tame the Nine Tails Fox Spirit. Okay, tame the Nine Tails. Okay, sure, why not? Okay, let's say another thing I clearly want to do is maybe eat um a devil fruit. Okay, sure, why not? That works. Okay, so we can see we can add as much as possible items to our to-dos, and also we can see these little um icons here. I can delete these. Okay, I don't want to eat a devil fruit. Instead, let's say I want to learn, okay, armament haki. Okay, sorry to all the fans who aren't okay, sorry to all those who aren't anime fans. All right, another thing we can actually do is okay, I can search. Okay, let's say I want to search. I have a long list of to dos. Okay, I want to search for, let's say, Rasengan. Okay, right here, it brings it up here and hides others that aren't fitting what I'm putting in the search input. So okay, let's say I want to see a okay, yeah, create to do app. Let's say another thing is okay, for example, I could come master ultra instinct and super saiyan blue. Why not? It works. Okay, so and I can delete and delete all of this till I'm having no one left, and then also add new ones. Okay, eat, sleep, code, and so that's what we're essentially going to be doing. Now, one other thing I want to note is right here on the GitHub repository, I've uploaded every I upload every course file. So and for this particular lesson, why I'm going to drop the link in the description, you're going to see it right here on lesson 4. Since this is essentially the fourth project we're working on, so we've worked on the lesson 1 text editor, we worked on animated tabs, and we worked on quiz app. So today on this lesson, this is the to-do list, so make sure to download the course file if you need it. And also, before we continue, don't forget to also support the channel and give us a thumbs up on the video and subscribe, hit the subscribe button. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I hope you still remember this folder, and hopefully as you're following along, you've also created your series of folders and project. So remember what we've done. We've done this and gone over this a lot of time. You can just right click and then open with code. Okay, so I'm right here in Visual Studio Code, and essentially what I've done is created my HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files, and essentially I've linked the style sheet right here and the script file down here. So, and then secondly, I've started my live server, so you can just right click and then open with live server, and you see it's running here in port 5500. And for those of you that you still don't have live server installed yet, you can come right here to extension and search for live server. So this is the extension that I'm making use of for that. So it's going to launch a local development server, and it is very useful when you're working with HTML, CSS, and vanilla JavaScript. Okay, so without any further ado, let's continue. Now, to save time, to speed things up a bit faster, I've copied some snippets of code, which I'm pretty sure if I should start typing, it's going to be boring to some of you and make the video unnecessarily longer. And note, you can also get this from type it out with me, or you can also get this from the GitHub repository. So I'm just going to paste this in here. Okay, I'm going to yeah, wrap that. All okay, so let me just bring this back here. All right, so essentially what I've done is the inside of our body tag we have one main HTML element, which is this div, which carries a class of to do app, and then we have let's say four main tags. Okay, two main tags inside, and the first one is the header, and then the header div contains the h1 tag and the input, which has a class of search to dos, and also the body, which has the to do list itself, and then a button, and then a form which we're going to be adding our to-dos list. So if I should save that and I come right here to my live server, okay, I'm going to see this. It looks really ugly. Yeah, really ugly. So we're going to come into CSS and see how we can style this up a bit. So let's see how that works. Okay, so I'm going to bring these, yes, yeah. All right, so to make these easy, I think I'm going to scoot both of them to the side. Okay, and let me just hide these. I'm just going to press my Control B. Okay, so whatever changes we make would be apparent. So for example, if I should select the body and I should make it let's say background color of aquamarine. All right, let's see what that does. And you see right here it loads and add that automatically, so I'm going to remove that. All right, so let's get started with styling. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything here, all of the elements, and I'm going to select remove the padding, rather the default padding and margin. Okay, and okay, then box sizing to border box. Okay, now we see right here, and then the body. Now one thing I want to do is, okay, the background color. Okay, I think I um copied some color codes earlier. Okay, so I think I should have should have this. Okay, so let's see what that does. Okay, and then color, let's make it all right. Okay, then the next thing I want to style is, okay, the to do app itself. So I'm going to come here to do, okay, dot. Remember when we're using class, we use a dot notation, dot to do. Okay, did I get it right? Okay, to do app. All right, I'm just going to try to speed this up a bit. Okay, then the padding. Okay, 50 pixels, 20 pixels. Okay, and then secondly, okay, let me just move this in. I'm trying to make this exactly just like this. So okay, the next thing is, okay, to style the header. So right here under the to do um app, okay, the header, and then we want to look right inside of this particular element here. So I'm going to select the h1 inside. All right, so what we're going to do is padding, okay, around, let's say, 30 pixels, and then background color, okay, think this should be it. Okay, and then border radius, and then let's use something like 4 pixels. Okay, and let's see what this looks like. Okay, it's looking good. Text aligned in, same thing better. Then another thing is, I think I want to add a margin button. Let's say 30 pixels. Let's see if that works for us. All right, now another thing I want to do is add a max width. Now let me show you the importance of that. Then the to do body, okay, so I'm going to select the header and then dot to do body. So we're going to make it max width, and then we're going to make it, I think, 700 pixels. Let's see, does that work right? Okay, now if I should bring this here, okay, that's not applying yet. Okay, that should be dot header. Okay, now if I should bring zoom this, we can see, okay, it remains um 700 pixels. That's the maximum width it's going to take, and when it is smaller, when the screen is smaller, it's going to actually um adjust itself. So max max width is going to ensure a form of mobile responsiveness. So that's opposed to me using just width. So making use of width 700 pixels, let's see what that gives us. Okay, we see even when we are at a smaller screen um size, we can see that, okay, it's actually not responsive enough. It's not being responsive. So we can see it right here. So all I just have to do to fix that is use max width. So max width is going to make it more responsive, and then I'm going to margin, then auto. So this is going to put it to the center. So let's increase this. We see right here it remains in the center. So I think that is looking a bit better. Okay, so the next thing, the next aspect is the to do body itself. Okay, the to do body, I'm going to add margin top 30 pixels. I want as much space as possible. I think here let's reduce this to 20 pixels. All right. Okay, then input. Now I want to use the input field. Now we have to input field here, fields here, and we want to actually select them. So I'm going to select them with attributes. I'm saying type equals to text. Okay, and which is essentially saying that okay, we are selecting this first input field and then this other input field, this other one here rather. Okay, so I'm going to add padding 10 pixels and 20 pixels, and okay, see what that does. And then width is going to be 100%. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, so we have this here. So you're going to notice a bit of outline, which is part of your default styling for the browser user agents style sheet. I think we discussed about that in the web browser development tools series. You can check that out also. And another thing is outline. Okay, none. And border. So I'm just going to use the shorthand property, so 2 pixels solid, and then I think the color should be something like this. Okay, let's see what that gives us. Okay, yeah, you can see that, and the rounded corner, which is our border radius. Yes, okay, so that will be 4 pixels. Let's see what that gives us. To copy this, all I just need essentially is this. So okay, focus. So that is whenever we click on this. So what do we want? What style do we want to change? Okay, I want it to be, the border should be 2 pixels, 2 pixels solid, and I think I have a color for that. There's a color for everything. That's the best part. Okay, I think I have a color for that, which should be this. Okay, and let's see. Okay, we see the color and the border changing. Okay, let's increase this a bit to 12 pixels, and okay, let's also add to active. So I'm going to put a comma and then change this to active. So see, all right, that's looking good. All right, another thing is okay, the submit buttons here, which are these two. Okay, remember we have two types of submit button. We have, okay, we have two type of button rather. So we have the first one, which is the regular button, and then we have that which is a form input, which is this, an input. So we're going to select both of them, input, then okay, type equals submit, and then also button, and then okay. So what I'm going to do is the width is going to be 100%, border radius, okay, border radius is going to be 4 pixels. Okay, border none. Okay, let's see what that gives us. Okay, padding 10 pixels and 20 pixels. Okay, and then we want to add margin right on the top and the bottom here. So we're going to add margin, then 10 pixels and 0. Okay, that works. And then I'm going to increase the font size 1.2. I'm going to use relative measurement. So Okay, 1.2 RAM, and then the background color, and then I think I have something for that also, which should be this. Not sure though. Okay, let's see if that's working well. Okay, that wouldn't really work. Yeah, we have two different colors right here. Okay, so let's just remove this for now and add a color, okay, which is white. Yeah, this essentially. All right, another thing we want to do is add, okay, add a kind of over cursor on it, so that whenever we're about to click, we know yes, we're about to click a thing. So that little hand icon that you see, okay, so that's what we want to add. And then let's remove this, sorry for the error messages. Okay, right there we have over, and then here we have over also. So when overing, what do we want, yeah, I think we have, okay, cursor pointer. So let's save that. Whenever we are on this, you see it's changed gears to this little hand icon. And then the next thing is, okay, want to specify the background color for this. So okay, the background color, okay, I think the background color should be something like, okay, and then for the button, the background color should be something like, all right, that's looking better. And then when we over on the inputs, we want the background color to change a bit. So and then over, and then the background color is going to be, I think we should have something around these. Okay, I think this should be for this guy right here. Okay, I think I didn't copy that. So what I'm just going to do is copy this here, and then going to use the help of Visual Studio to make it darker. All right, let's save that. Okay, so all right, this button should rather this, so I'm going to remove this away from here. So and then it, let's just copy the whole property. Okay, let's change it to what it's supposed to be, which is this. Okay, then this should be this. Okay, now when we hover on this, we want the color to change to, I think the color is the hardest part. Okay, so I fixed it, and let's save. Okay, we have these. Okay, so we've not set the over for this, so I'm just going to button and then over. Okay, and then for these I think we're going to paste in. All right, so let's save and let's see that. Okay, that works. All right, and then the next thing is the hard to do, which is the form here. So I'm going to add a bit of margin to the form. So dot add to do. Okay, did I get it right? Okay. All right, so we're going to add a margin top of 20 pixels. All right, that has added enough space. Okay, and then before we continue to the last part, there should be some little icons right here. So I'm going to just add that. Okay, so right here in the head of my document here, I'm going to add this. So this links this is a CDN to um front awesome. I think we discussed that in more detail in the first um tutorial. Okay, so I think we can see this little trash icon. So this is basically what these um I tag, this is basically what they do. Okay, so things are looking better. So what we're going to do is we're going to select, okay, the list right here. So I'm going to come here to my style. Okay, so I think dot to do's, then li. So the is we don't want this list, so list, let's further, so none, and then does, okay, it removes the bullets. A background color to, okay, I think I would love to set it to this 5A. All right, so let's bring it down. All right, so we can see that works. Okay, padding, okay, let's put 20 pixels, and then border radius, let's put 10, okay, 4 pixels each, and then margin, so we want to add margin to the top and bottom, so it's going to be 10 pixels 0. So let's see what that gives us. Okay, it's looking a bit good, and then we're going to change the font size, so let's use something like 1.2 rem. Okay, and then the display is going to be flex. All right, and then the justify content is going to be space between. All right, that is looking good. Okay, another thing is we want, okay, these little trash cans here, we want to add some bit of styling to them. Okay, so then dot to do's hi, then we select the high tag inside. Okay, then we want the, okay, whenever we hover, so over, so we want the background color to change, so into this. So let's save that. Whenever we hover on this, okay, why is that not working? Oh, my bad, it should be color. Okay, let's change that to color. Let's see. Okay, and we didn't spell this right. Okay, and then yeah, that works. And then we want to add the cursor pointer. Okay, and let's see. Yeah, we have this and icon. All right, and then let's reduce these bits. Okay, so we see our app is done. all done, and it's actually kind of mobile responsive. So if I should, let's say, reduce this, yeah, we see it still look good, still looks good. And then if I should also increase this, still looks good. Okay, so all thanks to as one single CSS property, which is max width. Okay, so we're basically done with the look and the styling of our to-do list app. So let's get started to, okay, the functionality and adding of the to-dos, searching and filtering. And yeah, finally, before I forget, we're going to actually make use of this later on, and I'm going to tell you what the purpose is. So I'm going to then li dot filter whenever we are filtering out the list that does not match what we are putting the search input field. So I'm going to set this, and then I'm going to save that. So what essentially does is it hides a particular to do. So let me give you an example. So if we should have a class right here, and I should also put filtered. So let's see, that will automatically hide that away. So that's essentially what we are going to be doing, but we are going to be adding it programmatically with JavaScript. Okay, so let's get started and start writing truly awesome um, codes to actually make sure that our to-do list works. I don't know if you're excited, but I'm always excited. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to make these better for you to see. So I'm going to increase this to the normal size, and I think I'm going to, let me increase the font size here a bit, so to make it easier on your eyes. Okay, the first thing I want to do is to select okay, the um to-do list here, this here, and also this particular form right here. So that's the first thing I want to do. So I'm going to um create a constant, then to-dos, okay, add to-dos equals to document dot query selector. Okay, so what are we adding? What are we using to select? We want to make use of, okay, this. So this should be the form, which is this. Okay, all right, then also I want to select the to-dos themselves, so which is this dot to-dos. So I'm going to say, okay, let to-dos equals to document dot query selector. Now you might be wondering why I used constant. That's because essentially I'm going to be actually at a point in time changing this. Const should remain the same as a constant, but why for this it's actually some of the values might actually change. So this is why I just prefer to avoid any error down the line to make use of let for this. So but you can experiment with const and also var down the way, but this is what I think it's going to have the best and optimum output. Okay, so the first thing is, let's see if this actually works. So let's console log to the console.log. I'm going to log add to dos and then to dos. Okay, and then let's save that and come right here, and I'm going to open up the console. Oh, sorry, console.log. All right. That should give us something. Okay, we have this, which is the form. If I should bring it here a bit, we'll see it better. So the form and then the list. Okay, that is actually perfect. That works. So what the first thing I'm going to do is, let's delete this. Now the form, which is add to dos. So add to dos dot add event listener. Now the event we're going to be listening for is the submit. Now remember, it's in a form. Whenever we actually, let me show you a sample. Whenever you have a form, there are two default ways of actually sending. So if I should type something in and I send, now you see it's going to refresh the page and okay, try and send that, but we are not actually sending anything. And when I click on the button here, it's going to have the same effect. So it is better to make use of the submit. And then secondly, we are going to our callback function, put in our callback function here. So I'm going to actually use an arrow function. Now since we want to actually take the event object and we want to actually make use of it, so I'm going to put in here. So okay, let's see what that does. Console.log e. So if I should come here and click on this form, okay, since it refreshes the page, so the first thing is we can actually prevent the refresh. So e dot prevent default. Okay, so let's see what that gives us. So whenever we click on this, we see it actually gives us the form back as the object. So we've prevented the default action, which is yeah, if you look at here, you're going to see prevent default true, which is to send the form and to refresh the page. We don't want that. Okay, so that is working fine. All right, I'm going to remove this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use e dot query selector. So we want to select the input field inside here. So I'm going to select the inputs. So right here, inputs. Then I can use, you can use various selectors. So I can use type equals text. Okay. Dot value. Okay, so I can just log this to the console. So let's try that. Console dot log, and let's see if that actually works. Crossing my fingers. Okay, let's see. Is that working? Nope. Okay, instead of making target objects, let's make use of the add to dos. The dos. So I'm just going to put this and then yeah, we see we are getting that value back. Okay, that works. So what I'm going to do is okay, let's remove this. Now list value. So that is the value we're adding to the list. It's going to equals to this. Then another thing is we want a function that is going to create a function that is going to actually help us add this into this. So I'm going to create a new function. So the name of the function is going to be to do's list append, then list value. Okay, we haven't created the function yet, but we're going to do that soon. So right here, up here, I'm going to create the function. So const, okay, to do's list append, Now it's going to be an arrow function and it's going to take in a value. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in value here. So, and since it's a single it's a singular proper value that we are taking in a parameter, so I'm going to just use this. So what I'm going to do is, okay, now I'm going to create an HTML template. HTML template is going to be equals to a template string. So what I'm just going to do is copy one list item from here. Okay, so basically we have this our list item. So let me make it a bit more readable for you. So we have this. So this is essentially what we have, and since the only thing that is going to be changing is basically this, so I'm going to actually just instead delete that and then use a variable. So we're going to make it value, so that is the value that is passed in here. So what we get from our input field is going to add it to the HTML template. Then it's going to say, okay, to do's now dot inner HTML. Now let's try equals to HTML template and let's see what that gives us. So by the time I save this and come back, okay, to our list right here, so if I should add, now you see it actually replaces whatever we have. So if I should put this here, so we can only have one list at a time, so which is not good. So we are going to use plus equals, so that's going to actually append it and to the back. So let's refresh and I'm going to click on this. Okay, yes, it works. It works. I can add as much as I want. So our basic functionality is actually working. So you can clap for yourself. You've actually, if you actually gotten to this stage, you've done something good. So, but then there are a few things I want to bring to your notice, which is number one, whenever we actually add a new list, we are not adding the same thing over and over. So we want this to actually clear off. So one way to do that is after in our event here, once we've done that, once we've submitted and we've added, so what we want is we can say something like add to those dots reset, so which is essentially going to reset the form. So let's try that out and see what that does. So we have this here. By the time I add it, you see what we have, the input value is gone, so I can add something else. Now the second issue we're having is if I should just click on enter without adding anything, you see it's actually adding a list which you don't want. Or let's say I had a bit of space and then this unnecessary space. Okay, that actually works normal. Okay, but then you get the idea. Whenever we had use space and it's actually adding, we don't want. So the first thing is so dot trim, so that unnecessary spaces are going. Okay, so unnecessary space are going to be removed away. So another thing is then if, so we're going to specify a condition that if this list value actually has something in it, that is when it should actually append add to the list. So we can just put in a list value and then I'm going to just bring this in right here and then let's save and let's see what that actually does. So let's say I click on add. No, it doesn't work, but if I add something, does it work? Oh yeah, it does. So this essentially checks if the list value is not empty, so it actually basically returns a boolean. So if there is actually a value in this list and it's not an empty string, it's going to return true. But if it's just basically an empty string and with spaces, no characters, it's going to return false. So if this is actually true, then we want you to do this, and then whether it's true or not, we're going to reset our form. So this is as basically done the basic functionality of our to-do list app. Then the second thing we want to do is, okay, the clear all button, which I actually didn't show earlier, but it does something like this. So if I should click on clear all, it's going to clear everything. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to create a constant clear equals to document dot query selector. So, and what are we selecting? We want to select the clear button. So I can, just to be on the safer side, I'm going to select button dot clear. All right, that's looking good. So then we're going to say button dot clear. Okay, clear dot add event listener. So the event we want to listen for in this case is the click event. Okay, and then the function is going to be something like this. Now we're going to get these to do's here. So we're going to say to do's dot inner html. We're going to set it to nothing to make it empty. So let's save that and let's see if that works. So I'm going to come here and then let's bring this down a bit, click on clear all. Wow, that works. Refresh, we have the default list back, so I can add whatever I want. So let's say eat ramen. Okay, that works. Okay, I want to train with bureaus on another planet. Wow, that works. Okay, I want to meet with Tanjiro. Okay, whatever your to-do list is, it might be, okay, let's say conquering the war, it might be having fixing a meeting with the Justice League or with the Avengers. Whatever it is, you can add it here and it works. And then the clear all button, oops, all gone. Okay, another thing we can do is I actually love my apps to actually have a nice user interface. So I'm going to come here and then the inputs. Okay, yeah, let's increase it a bit. Then the font size equals to 1.2 rem also. So let's actually fresh. Okay, now that's looking better. Now my mind is at peace. Okay, so let's continue. So we add the basic things set up in our app. So what is the last thing that is left? It is essentially search for thing. It should actually reflect rather, I mean, it should actually filter through us what exactly we are searching for, right? Without any further ado, let's finish up our to-do list app. Okay, finally I'm going to create another constant. So I'm going to say, okay, search input. All right, and we can also change these, like I said earlier, to const. Let's see, it should still work the same. So let's save that. Okay, the only error we are getting here is for the const declaration earlier that we have not finished up. So let's see, this should still work. Okay, it's actually not working. Okay, it's not working. Okay, noted. And then let's see, does this work? No. All right, so I guess we have to change this to, okay, Let's just try that and let's see now. Is it working? Oh yeah, it works. Okay, then the search input is going to be equals documents.query selector, and then what we're going to have is we want to select this. So the class is search to dos. Okay, dot search to dos. Now another thing is I totally forgot. Now removing this from the list. Okay, so let's see the best way to actually achieve that. Now we're going to be making use of using the application of okay um events delegation for this. Now we can decide to select all of these and add um and add an event listener for every one of them. But then whenever we add new events to the list, it's not actually new lists, rather new list to our app. It's not actually going to work for that. So to save you time and headache, which you can also try out other method later, I'm going to show you okay the best way to actually do this. So now what we're going to do is the to-dos list itself. So I'm going to come here to dos dot add event listener. So we're going to attach an event listener. So it's going to be just one event listener. So and then we're going to set it to click. And then what do we want to do? We're going to take in the event object. So I'm going to use my arrow function. So now we're going to a conditional say if e dot class dot things. So what do we want? So we want that okay whenever only the trash can, that is when it actually deletes. So if it actually contains the delete, now note all trash can contains the delete. Even in our HTML template, they contain the delete class. So we're going to say if it contains this, then okay we're going to log to the console.log e dot okay this should be e dot target, yeah, e dot target dot parent. Okay, let's see if that would work. So I'm going to click on this undefined, rather interesting. Okay, let's check through our code once again. Okay, about oh yeah, parent element. Okay, so let's see, I click on this. Oh, and then we can see it returns this particular list that was created, and then click on this another one. So even if I should add other lists, hello, so and I click on this, now it's going to return the parent element for that specific um list that I clicked on. So here's what we're going to do. Then instead of this, we're just going to say if that contains that, then we're going to say it dot parent element dot remove. So it's going to remove from the DOM. So if I should click on this, yeah, it removes, and this clears everything. So that actually works. So we've got 3 functionalities now, so just one left. The other thing I'm going to do is move up here, then the search inputs dot add event listener, then we're going to listen for key up. So that is whenever we are typing, so whenever you press down your keyboard, that is the key down, and then whenever you release a key, that's key up. So Okay, we're going to say listen collect our event target object. Okay, so here is what I'm going to do. Now whenever we are typing, whenever we type on anything, it should say console.log key pressed. Okay, so let's see how that works. So right here, I'm just going to type in anything. Okay, we are having an error. Oh, I keep forgetting that console.log. So let's say this. Okay, keep pressed, and it's actually showing right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is console.log, instead of key press, e.target.value. All right, let's see what that is going to give us. So if I should press K, okay, AY. Oh, that is working. Maestro. Okay, Naruto. One Piece. Dragon Ball. Now you get the idea. So whatever it is we type here, actually be listening to every individual key changes. Okay, let's see what we can do. Instead of log into the console, we're going to say create a variable. Let's search equals to this. Then we are going to, don't forget, let us trim it, so to avoid any unnecessary space, so that whenever, okay, let me give you a sample for that. So to avoid something like this, now you see I'm just pressing in my spacebar, but it's still returning this. So we don't want something like that. So let's just add our dot trim value function, so to remove any unnecessary space. Then I'm going to create a function very soon, in a moment. So filter list, then search value, it's going to accept the search value. So now we haven't created the function yet, so at the top here, I'm going to create filter list. Now it's going to take in a value, and then we're going to use our arrow function. Okay, so it's going to say let list. So for better description, let's change this to search value. So let list equals to, okay, we can use to do's dot query selector all, and then li. So console.log, so lists. Okay, so let's see. Okay, reference error, li is not defined. Oh, this is supposed to be this. All right, so this should work now. Okay, so it's going to return the list. Now remember, a node list is similar to an array, so that means we have access. We've already used this before in previous projects. We have access to something like list dot for each. Okay, so to make this better, so let's make it list. So then, okay, list dot for each. So inside of it, we're going to have something like, okay, lists, and then I'm going to have a function, right? Okay, so for this refers to each individual list, and for each one of them I'm going to actually take the text content out. So I'm going to say something like, let list value equals to, okay, lists dot inner text. Okay, so we have the inner for each one of them. While cycling through, it's going to get the inner text of it. Then now the next thing is we're going to have an if statement. If then else. So what do we want, okay, our if statements to actually do? What conditional statement do we want to check? So we're going to do something now in this part. There are various ways you can actually go about this, and this is just one of the ways that I preferred to work. I actually created another similar app recently, and I actually make use of a different approach. So you can make use of this approach or any other one that works for you, and also experiment with various method. So what I'm going to say is, if list value then dot, so what I'm going to say is, if list value dot index of, then search value, this search value that we are taking in here, is not equals to -1, then what we want to do is, then the list, that is, which refers to the original list which we are getting the text content of, dot class list dot remove, then we can say filtered. So that means, okay, even if um this is actually as a class of filtered, that is, it is hidden, as long as, okay, we can actually find this in this search value in the list value, it should remove the class of filtered. So else it should add the list dot class list dot add then filtered. So let's see if that works. So I have this and I can press Naruto. Okay, it's not working yet. So what if I press this? Okay, now it's actually working, but the issue is whenever we have a small letter, so it's not actually finding it. So for example, look, this Naruto starts with a capital letter, so until I type my capital letter in. So to prevent something like that, right here we're going to put dot to lower case, and then also here we're going to put it to lowercase, so that whenever it is searching, it automatically converts to lowercase inside of the JavaScript engine and the code running. Okay, so now let's search for Naruto. Okay, that works. Now just to be sure, let's add more. Okay, so let's say eat bread, sleep well, sleep well. So it doesn't matter now whether it is in capital letter. If I should search for sleep, now it all brings every one of them out here. So that is basically the overview of everything that you need to get your search and filter to do list app running and working. So that is the summary of everything you need to overview of everything you need to get your search and filter to the list app up and working. Now, to the method, the string method that I used here, in case you don't fully understand, because I know it might seem a bit confusing if this is your first time of actually using it. So it is basically a function that works on string, and it searches, okay, if if it contains this particular word or this particular character, it is going to return, um, it's going to return a value that is greater than that is 1 or greater than 8. So, and if not, it is actually going to return -1. So this is um the documentation on it. I'm going to make sure to drop the link in the description, but just to show you how it actually works. So let's come here to the console, and I'm going to increase this, and then let me increase the font size so you'll be able to see this very well. So I can say something like let's say maestro, then dot index of, then let's say a. Now if it contains a, if this particular string contains a, we're going to have 1. Then if not, let's say, let me use t, we can see it has 4. It returns, okay, where it is found, if it is found in that particular string. So basically, if I should use an empty string, we have 0. And then if we should use something that is not found, let's say I use a letter p, so it returns -1 once it's not found. But let's say a, it's found, ESTRO, all these letters are found inside. So now let's use O, it's going to return 6. Now if we should count the letters, we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this is 0 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So but if it is not found, it is going to return a value of -1, and which is exactly what we were checking for here. So as long as this list dot index of search value is not equals, and equal being equals to -1 means that it's class list from here. So that is, if it is found, make sure that, but if it is equals to -1, then okay, I can also reverse it in such a way the list value dot index of search value is strictly equals to -1. Then we want to add this, but if not, we want to actually remove. So let's save that and let's see if that actually works. So I'm going to scoot this down a bit. Okay, so let's search for Naruto. It works. Sleep. Okay, app works. So let's add the previous list we had. Sleep, sleep, eat. Okay, then now let's search for sleep. So you see, it basically works the same way. So that is it. So if I should search for, okay, let's say this closing square brackets, so it's only saying it in this particular instance of the list, so it's going to show that up. So that's basically it. I hope I've explained every confusing part. So thank you very much. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also check out other videos on the um, channel, and I'll make sure to upload more and frequent updates so you can actually learn more on various topics. And if there is any particular topic you would like me, or any particular thing you would like me to make a video or a lesson on, so don't forget to drop that in the comments, and also push the subscribe button. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.